So Aerodactyl in Pokemon Sword and Shield is really fast. Like, he's a sweeper. He's the definition of a glass cannon. 130 speed, 105 attack, and then low defenses and 65 and 75 with 80 health. Like, he's not going to survive very many hits, especially if it's super effective or ice. He's pretty much getting KO'd. 60 special attack. So he's a straight physical glass cannon. And his abilities, honestly, aren't that good. Pressure is whatever. Especially because you're not tanky, so its pressure isn't going to it's not going to build up to really be anything. Rockhead's a decent ability, but the problem is with Aerodactyl, the only thing he gets it on is double edge and takedown. So maybe you can use double edge with Rockhead, but other than that, literally he doesn't learn Rock Smash, which would be really good. But he doesn't learn any of these moves other than takedown and double edge. So Rockhead doesn't really have very much use. Unnerve is actually a pretty good ability, just because if with a sash or something, if you hit them, it prevents them from eating berries. So like they can't get a citrus berry or a lychee or one of the berries that gives them a third of their health back now. They can't use any of those berries, so it's pretty good, but still kind of situational. Especially when, I mean, you can play around it a little bit. The only thing that sucks about Unnerve on them though is because if you hit them and you don't KO them and they don't eat their berry, they're KOing you next turn. So unless they're Endure, Lychee Berry, or something like that, you won't really get the most out of Unnerve. But one way to run into Aerodactyl is just embracing the glass cannon, focus sash, max speed, max health, jolly, and dragon dance. Pretty much you want to dragon dance and then just go all out next turn and try to one shot everything pretty much. Dual wing beat and stone edge or stab. You can also run rock slide, but rock slide does less damage, but it has more accuracy and a chance to flinch, so you could bank on that a little bit, because even if it doesn't get the KO, it might flinch. Or it might be, you might use it on something that you know you couldn't have taken out with stone edge and get a flinch and get another turn to attack it. Maybe it's sash or something. Again, I like dual wing beat, scale shot, all the moves that hit multiple times, especially dual wing beat and like dual chop, because they go through sashes for one, because they hit twice. And each one has a chance to crit, so you can play around it, but 90 accuracy. Also, it's the best flying type physical move in the game, especially because it's the best one if you don't have Brave Word or Sky Attack, which Aerodactyl doesn't, which kind of sucks. Last move, Earthquake, really just a coverage move. Earthquake's an option, Aqua Tail, Crunch, Dragon Claw if you want to duel dragons. This would be a good spot for Double Edge if you want on Rockhead maybe, just for the damage, but really you want this last one to be a coverage move. So pretty much something you only use super effective. Ice Fang maybe if you're worried about Dragonites and Garchomps and stuff like that. Psychic Fang's always a good option. But pretty much this last one, Earthquake 100 and 100, it's hard to beat. Which is pretty good, especially against Steel types. And Corviknight. Corviknight's not that big of a threat because Stone Edge will hit it neutral. But Earthquake for other Steel types, especially like Aggron and stuff like that, because Aggron will give you a problem if you have like Crunch, for example, or Dragon Claw. Aggron's a big threat, especially like Double Edge. Aggron's a problem. But another way is just Dynamax, Life Orb, just 4 attacks. Dual Wing Beat, you want to come in on something that's either weaker or that you know is like super weak, so like a grass, like a not Chestnut, because I don't think he's in the game, but something that's like 4 times weak to flying, or something that's really weak to flying, or just low health. You come in Dynamax, Dual Wing Beat. They either switch or they get KO'd, and you get the +1 speed. And then you go from there. Stone Edge gives you the Sandstorm, which is pretty good. Deals with sashes. It also raises your special defense, which might or might not make a difference. Dynamax just depends on what you get hit with. Earthquake again is good. Psychic Fang's also, I really like Dynamax psychic ones for psychic terrain, because it gets rid of priority, so you can do damage. Like if you have a low health, they can't hit you with like a Shadow Sneak or a priority move and KO you. So Psychic Terrain's really good in that situation. Also 100% Unnerve. These other 2 abilities are not worth it, Dynamax, especially because Rockhead literally is useless and pressure isn't going to make a difference. Unnerve's good though, because especially Dynamax, because you can tank a hit. So you could go out there, take a hit, and they won't use their Citrus Berry, and then you KO them next turn or something along those lines. But some of the other moves you can run on a Dynamax set, it doesn't actually learn Sky Attack anymore. Iron Tail if you want to deal with fairies. For example, Aqua Tail brings rain. I wouldn't use Fly. Dual Wing Beat actually is 130, which I think is the same as Fly. Crunch lowers their special defense. Dragon Claw lowers their attack. So you have a couple of other options, but I like these as the best one, especially because they all do a ton of damage, and they all have effects that are pretty useful, between raising your speed, bringing the Sandstorm. I think this actually raises your special defense. And then Psychic Fang, Psychic Terrain, which I really like on a sweeper-esque Pokemon. This is also something Aerodactyl can do because he's so fast. Is just Endure. You get hit with a super effective. Oh, I never talked about his typing too. He's weak to rock, steel, water, electric, and ice. So I'm glad I remember to do this. So pretty much the plan with this one is weakness policy, is Endure, weakness policy. So you get hit with one of these moves, which all of them are really common. Ice is going to be a lot more common now because of the pseudo legendaries, and the dragons are back now. Steel's common because of fairies. Rock, electric, and water are semi-common. Rock's more of a, it's there. But pretty much you want to get hit with one of those moves. Endure, get hit with one of those moves, and you have +2 attack, and you're already super fast. So then just coverage moves. I like Rock Slide here because I don't want to play the accuracy game with Stone Edge on something like this, especially because you're at 1 health. Again, coverage move in that last spot, and I like the double stab with dual wing beat too. But finishing up, he's also immune to ground. He resists normal, flying, poison, bug, and fire. I completely forgot about his typing. It's not bad overall. The thing that sucks though is he's weak to ice and steel, which are common now. Which are really common, but it's not bad. Especially being able to switch in on an earthquake or something. Like being able to switch in on an earthquake is really good. But this is not a moveset by the way. This is not a moveset by the way. These are just some of the other moves that Aerodactyl learns. Especially if you lead with him. Tailwind's really good. I think he learns Tailwind at level. It's an egg move. Yeah, Tailwind, which is really good, the fact that he actually has Tailwind, especially now that it's not a TM or anything anymore. Tailwind's really good. Taunt's really good also if you lead him. That way, if you know if you lead with him and you know they're going to use a Trick Room or a Tailwind or something like that, you can taunt them and shut them down effectively. But you do have to be careful of them using DU. Thief's also an option, especially if you lead with him with a Sash or something and you Tailwind, they hit you, then you Thief just to get rid of their item, they KO you. You pretty much effectively took out their item and gave your team a Tailwind, and whatever you switch in is going to have free reign. Giga Impact's just a lot of damage. If you're just guaranteed, you have that 1 health and you know you're about to get KO'd and you just want to do a ton of damage, Giga Impact's an option. Just high damage and Giga Impact. Or you could just run Stone Edge or Dual Wing Beat or Earthquake or whatever in that last spot if you do lead with him. I mean, it has its uses. Thief, like this is not a moveset in the slightest. I wouldn't run. I mean, you could run Taunt and Tailwind, but I would run probably Dual Stab or just Giga Impact. I don't know. Thief it has its uses, but some of the other moves he learns, Crunch, Iron Head, like some of the other coverage moves that he learns are pretty good because he has pretty good coverage. So you don't know what you're gonna run into. Supersonic got buffed, or I think it got nerfed into oblivion, but. Like I said, Rock Slide, Crunch, Iron Head, Takedown, and Double Edge have the Rock Head boost, but it's not really that good. I mean, Rock Head's pretty good on a sweeper though, especially with Sash, so you don't take yourself out. But they should have gave him Head Smash. It would be such a big difference. But agility, but he's already so fast. I wouldn't really use agility. He learns Hyper Beam and Giga Impact, but his special attack is so low that Hyper Beam doesn't matter. But Fly, again, Thief, Steel Wing. You have Iron Head, so I wouldn't. You have Iron Head and Iron Tail, so I would not use Steel Wing. Facade's always an option for a physical attacker in case you get burned if you're worried about that. He learns all 3 Fangs, but they have such low base power that I would not recommend them. Even Ice Fang on a 4-time super effective hit. It's too fast for payback. It's no point. Dragon Claw is also an option if you're worried about the dragons, but you don't want to run Ice Fang. Stone Edge, Psychic Fang. But he has some good special coverage too, but his special attack's so low, I think 60. Yeah, 60. Like he learned Flamethrower, he learned the Fire 3, Dragon Pulse, Earth Power, Hurricane. Like that's pretty good coverage, but he doesn't learn anything to do with it. Taunt. He also has Stealth Rocks too, which is if you also run him as a lead, you can do something with Stealth Rocks. You could like taunt. If you run against a lead that is just straight setup type stuff and you taunt them, you could get away with a Stealth Rock and a Tailwind, something like that. I would never use Curse on him because he's so fast and frail that Curse is not good on him. Same with Roost. He's too frail for Roost to really make a difference. I wouldn't use Whirlwind or Roar. They're better Pokemon than that. Wide Guard's also an option for doubles if you want to do something in doubles with him, and like you can predict. It has priority, but they're better Wide Guards. But if you want to have it just to be safe, Wide Guard's a good move. And that's how to use Aerodactyl in Pokemon Sword and Shield.